Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, greeting for me, Ibu Riristiani. I will deliver the subject History, Position, Indonesian Language Function. Please listen careful. History the development of Indonesian language before independence. Indonesia, which we now use as the official language in the country, we come from the Malaya language. The Malay language we use it is an old Malay language, which still can be investigative as relics on the past. The delivery, that language Austronesian, also has family relation with the language used in mainland Southeast Asia. It's not only now that Indonesian or Malay is used as a license in several Southeast Asian countries. Since time immemorial, the Indonesian or Malay language was known by local residents whose daily language is not Indonesian or Malay. This is evidenced by the existence of several inscriptions found in areas where the colonial population is not Indonesian or Malay. Of course, they are also found in that area the everyday language of the population is already using Indonesian or Malay. The story of the development of this language can be proven by its existence. Ketukan Bukit inscription, Talang Tua, Kota Kapur, and Karai Barahi. When Europeans first came to Indonesia, the language was Malay, already has an extraordinary position in the midst of regional language in this archipelago. Pigafetta, following the trip Magellan travels around the world, when he shipped in Chocat at Tidore on 1921, he wrote Malay word. This is clear evidence that the Malay language originated from the western part of Indonesia at that time. It is also spread to part of Indonesia which are far away east. Likewise, according to Zhang Johann van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch sailor 6 years later sailed to Indonesia, said that the Malay language is not only a very fragrant name, but also considered a language respectable among the languages of the East. It can be compared to people who cannot or don't know Indonesian. He said that, like people who don't know and can't speak French at the Netherlands at that time. Meaning, it shows that Indonesian was already so well known and respected at that time. Indonesian, in a period of independence, on October 29, 28 on 1928, Indonesian officially became a language unity or national language. The Indonesian name is a natural, is political, because it agrees with the name of the co-founded country, namely the Indonesian nation. Political nature arises becomes of the desire to the Indonesian nation has a fighting spirit together, gain the freedom to feel more bound in one bond, one homeland, one nation, and one language. Unit and unity of Indonesian nation is played through point. The youth pledge is as follows. 1. With the son and daughter of Indonesia claim to be seed with blood one. is Indonesian land. Second, we, sons and daughters of Indonesia, claim to be one nation, is Indonesian nation. Third, we, the son and daughter of Indonesia, and hope the language of unity is Indonesian. In the three places, there are different places with, between the third places in the first and second, namely on the word confess and uphold. The first and second pages declare two profess to be seed, one fault, and claim to be one nation. It means our homeland and nation only one, namely Indonesia. In contrast to unholding the language unity Indonesian, his pledge show that Indonesian language is the language used in uniting the Indonesian nation. This doesn't mean that local language are abolished. Local language is still a must maintenance and reserved as the nation's cultural wealth. So, the conclusion is absolutely it would be wrong if there are local residents who are embraced to use their local language in communicating. Indonesian as a language of unity is different as a language which is used in communication activities that involve a lot figure or society who come from various regions in Indonesia. That's why Indonesia has a function and position in a language unity. What about background from Malay to Indonesian? One, we can know that history has helped spread the Malay language. Malay language is the lingua franca in Indonesia. Relational language or language trading. With the help of traders, the Malay language was spread to the entire coast of the archipelago, especially in port cities. Language Malay is used language of relation between individuals. Second, Malay language has a symbol system, easy to learn. There is no known level of language as in Japanese or language as a Balinese or differences in the use of raw and subtle language as a Sundanese or Japanese. Psychological factor, namely Japanese and Sundanese ethnic group volunteered to accept Indonesia as the national language. Solely based on the realization of its benefit, there is a sincerity ignoring the position, passion, and sense of ethnicity because they are aware of the need, unity, and oneness. The ability of the language itself is also a determining factor. In the language does not have the ability to be used become the language of culture in a broad sense. Of course, that language could then develop into a perfect language. On in fact, it can be proven that Indonesia is a language which can be used to formulate opinions appropriately and express feelings clearly. Indonesian language Congress the first was in Solo in 1938. At the Congress, three were two result important decisions, namely Indonesian to become one, the official language, and the second, the language of instruction in representative bodies and legislation. What about Indonesian position and function? The first, about position, is definite as the relative status of language as a system symbol of culture values formulated on the basis of the social values of the language concerned, while the function is the value of language used formulated as the text of using that language is that position given to him. Indonesian has a position as the national language and as the language of the country. The position of Indonesian as a national language on since the Yacht Pledge was made on October 28, 1928, while the position as the state language has been on since it was inaugurated. Indonesia as the national language. First, a symbol of national pride. The second, a symbol of identity national. The third, a unifying tool for various ethnic background, socioculture, and different language for mean of communicating between region and intercultural. Indonesia, a symbol of national pride. Indonesian language reflected the socio-cultural values that underlie our sense of pride. Through the national language, the Indonesian nation expressed the dignity and cultural values on which it ought life. On the basis, we maintain and develop the Indonesian language. Likewise, we must foster pride in using Indonesian. Pride in a form of positive attitude toward Indonesian. A symbol of identity national. Indonesian as a great dignity, self-respect, and role model for other nations. This can happen when the Indonesian always tries to foster and develop Indonesian language so that it doesn't get mixed up with element foreign language, especially English. For that reason, awareness of rule, the use of Indonesian must always be improved as a unifying tool. Indonesian is able to show its function on unit the Indonesian nation, which consists on various ethnicity, religion, culture, and mother tongue. It has been evident ever since he took the oath place. As a means of communication, Indonesia is able to connect people with a sociocultural background and a mother tongue different. Thanks to the Indonesian language, different ethnic groups' mother tongue can communicate intimately and fluently, so that misunderstanding between individuals, between groups never happen. Thanks to Indonesian language, we can also explore all concerns of the country without a hate. Indonesian as the state language. One, officially language country. The second, the language of instruction in the world of education. Third, tools at the national level of planning and proposes implementation of national development and government interest. Fourth, tool for the development of culture, science and technology. Thank you. See you next week. And I hope all of you understand with information I give. So, see you later in the next presentation. Thank you very much.